They'll be calling you a radical. I've been very hesitant to put this video up. Got a very special day coming up, Saturday night. It's going to be my 2-year birthday. It's going to be a big, big, big time. As I've been in my doctors have drawn the line from the day I got sick, or from the day I got properly diagnosed. 2 years, Kevin. You have to make the 2-year mark. You have to make it. The disease I have, OS, de novo, is leukemia-presented tumors, and the biggest cause of death of de novo and OS is the misdiagnosis. Who would ever think that it presenting a tumor? Now, the chances of living are very small with that disease. Very small with that disease. Not even, it's so radical and attacks you so aggressively and so fast that the heavy, 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 hard chemo that goes to work on you, if it doesn't kill you, I wouldn't recommend chemo for my worst enemy, but this is an incredible radical treatment. An intense ICU unit from, I mean, it's so intense, literally on Balco, literally. You get the injection in your stomach every day, but Sugar House Park, 4:30, just happens to coincide with the light to night walk. It's going to be a very emotional time. A lot of my nurses will be there, a lot of our family will be there, and so many of our family have passed. I've known the whole time that I've been walking this walk that my chances were not good, even after being there. I know. My doctor says if you get to the 2-year mark, if you get the thing, you have a chance. You have a chance. So I've been so incredibly militant, and I haven't really openly talked about how I've survived this disease and how I've done this because I didn't want to jinx myself. I have not taken 1 second of one day off. Celeste, who's head of LDS Bone Marrow East 8, which I owe them my life. They saved my life, those narcissists. I should have never lived. For me to say that this was going to happen, you know, on that radical video I did, and I look back and the way I reported Fukushima in detail, I reported it properly. I'm glad I used the language I did. I'm glad the intensity, not just for my survival, for your survival. And the so-called establishment, the oppositional resistance group, which is really controlled opposition. I learned a lot. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about Busby. I learned a lot about Gunner. I knew Gunderson was a fraud right off the get. He never was an engineer. He never worked in the industry. And he's making a lot of money and destroying our cause. I learned a lot about Helen. I'm really heartbroken about the way what she's done to me as far as turned her back on me. But I know that they're not really in this fight in nuclear. They're not in this fight for people like me, for Paul, for Carl. I was head of the Atomic Veterans for years. My father was a Marine, nuked to death in Nevada test site, 40,000 of them. Had no representation, none. Nobody even knew who it was, whatever. Carol Gardner wrote her book and she stood up and that was it. Nobody, they erased them. They took an eraser and erased them from humanity. Their record's gone, no death benefits, no nothing. Not a paycheck, not a penny. They erased them from humanity. They all died of leukemia. And I'm living proof, I guess, now that it does mutate the gene. I had no chance. As the people in the early days that were watching this vlog and were aghast when I got leukemia and watched it in real time and watched the misdiagnosis over and watched me fight and watched me battle, they all came to my side. There were prayers, thousands of prayers done all over this world for me. Thousands. They had a day on February 26, 2012. Kevin Blanch was the strongest anti-nuclear advocate in the world. And they did coincide spiritual healers, prayers in temples, on beaches, everywhere, every faith. Simultaneously prayed for me. Go by the window, Kevin. I know those prayers saved my life. I know that it was a lot of people. I was in this cause for the right reasons before. It took apart my derivative trading career. You know, it took apart my teaching career. It took apart because I've told this in a radical form, so it set so many people back. And I violated the establishment. I've learned that controlled resistance group, it's about their cash cow. Helen's Foundation is a cash cow. Arnie Gunderson has a cash cow of misrepresentation and false equivalency. They're making a lot of money. I scare the hell out of those people. Oh, do I scare those people. Oh, do I violate them because they're like, oh my God, look at this guy. He's doing it for free. Not even for free, less than free. He's using his own equipment, his own money is what little bit of money I had. You know, I forked my money off to get over, and I'm glad I did. I got a miracle. I should have never lived. The misdiagnosis, I mean, absolutely my knowledge, but so much more than that. I got miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle. I'm going to make the 2-year mark. Still a long ways to go. But I'll tell you what, this is about human rights. I've always been in human rights my whole life. You know, when I had these shirts made, long before Fukushima ever happened, you look at the tags. They're made in America. They're made in Brooklyn. I've never participated in anybody who exploits slavery. I won't do it. I won't do it. You know, I had some Apple derivatives. I never bought the stock. I traded the derivatives, as you know. I was very successful. When I look back, as you guys look back, a lot of finance videos and how accurate I was, and I was making a lot of people. In fact, a young man told me, I told him, get out of yourself. Get out and go and buy Tesla at $10. You know, it's $180. By the way, if you're listening, sell it. You know, you made $180,000, you and your grandpa, nothing. And by the way, thank you for the tip, which they sent me nothing. You know, some people made some money and go send me. That's okay. I don't care. That's okay. Because I've learned something about this. I've learned through Megan Rice, through Dorothy Day, through these spiritual, beautiful people that this is the 1830s when it was contemporized that slavery was good. Slavery's never good. Everybody thought, and the fake Christians in the 1830s, they would wear hairspray and say, oh, God wants that, you know, we're doing the right, we're helping these people. Shelter, food, you know, that's how they fool themselves. It's the exact same times as it is today. I'm a human rights activist. I want you to live. I want your children to live. And like I said, I apologize. Honest from the bottom of my heart, I apologize. You know, Carla, who had the same disease as me, they call us Kevin and Carla, Kevin and Carla. You know, we're the only two in the country simultaneously. I mean, to think getting leukemia presenting a tumor is so mad. It's the best pathologist in the world. I found a YouTube video with 14 views. You know, when they're sending me home to die, told me it was an ulcer, but everything I was fading away. Finally, an old doctor who's father and brother, Dr. Hansen here, he saved my life. He knows me. My uncle, who's gone and passed away a long time ago, is ex-business partner. He had a lot of respect for me, and he dug in. He really dug in. He said, Kevin. He says, maybe you're right. Maybe Silverman got it wrong, and these people didn't want to hear it. Come here. Come here. I have my little grandson here today. He's a wild little guy. He saved my life. I was on death's doorstep. In an ICU unit, LDS hospital, those beautiful nurses, they'll be there. They'll be there. It's my 2nd birthday. I've survived through spirituality, through righteousness, doing the right things for the right reasons. This vlog, I did it for the right reasons. I haven't profited one thing. Profited. I went negative, but I've never taken 1 second, 1 day off. I've learned how to eat. I drink carrot juice a lot every day. I walk every day. I try to stay righteous in not a... I don't go to church. I don't attend church. I don't practice any religious practice, but I know the difference between right and wrong. And I believe that life is a test. And I represent the people like Paul and Carla and Karen and Mrs. Glauser, the whole group that we were in there. So many of them died. You know, as you guys know, Paul used to post. Dana used to post. So many of them would post in these videos every day. They were part of our community. You know, they were healthy. They were amazing people. You know, they passed away in the primes of their lives with the best leukemia unit in probably the world treating them. How can I turn my back as their lives were taken so short, and for some crazy reason I get another chance. My life gets to be extended. For me to turn my back on that, this is about human rights. Fukushima is about human rights. It's all about human rights, the ultimate human right. This is evil. What they did to my father, what they did to the atomic veterans, the day I watched them zip him up in the body bag, I made a vow to the atomic veterans there. I made a vow to all the Marines, the Semper Fi family of all 40,000 of their families. Oh, curse and spite that I was ever born to set this right. The country and western version of Hamlet, oh yeah, and that's no cliche and that's no joke. So many people, so many of you people have prayed for me. You guys saved my life. These cards and letters, I mean, that I hung up there, the nurse was blown away. They came in from everywhere when I was in the hospital. People prayed for me. People sent me the most beautiful, people really wanted me to live. So that's why I fight so vigilant. And the opposition resistance movement, oh, do I violate them? Good, because they're cash cows. They're war profiteers. They're purely war profiteers, making money off the blood. Come here, young man. Making money off the blood. Superman. He's named after my dad, the atomic veteran. So is my nephew, and so is my other grandson. These two little boys were born days. They're a week apart. They were born days after Fukushima happened. You think I want them to go through what I've gone through? You think I want them to go through what my father? So many, you know, I will say this to Carla, to Paul, to Dana, Mrs. Glauser, Tracy, Karen, their families, to the future generations that are going to die of this disease, to the youth that are raised. I've tried long before I got disease. Has this changed me? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Forever? Yeah. Will I stay in this fight in a spiritual way, in a real spiritual way? Forever. Till I die. And that's forever. I don't know if that's forever. But I mean forever for my lifespan. How long it be, I don't know. I still have a very long way to go. But all of you who stood up for me and fought for me, and all you people that prayed for me, you saved my life. He's torturing the dog right now. How come you're being mean to him? Be nice to him.
And I put it on.
You know, you don't put that on him.
What did it do?
Leave him alone.
I'm talking to you.
You gonna be a good boy? What's your name? How many are you? You Superman? Huh? You Superman? But anyway, anybody who wants to go, I'd love, you know, you go with me. It's 4:30, Sugar House Park. It's like, there was 5,000 people there. It's very spiritual. It's overwhelming. They light candles for everybody that's passing. There's so many that have passed in Utah. So many. That's who I am. That's what I was even long before I got this evil disease. You know that. People that have been watching me. You know, a guy says, oh, Kevin's the only reason he's in the nuclear fight because he got cancer. Oh, really? You sure let him watch this vlog. Sure don't know anything about me. You know, I'm going to head back to New York City. I'm going to head to Washington, D.C. And a guy told me yesterday, an advocate who had left a Wall Street career in New York City, just like me. He's in Washington. He says, Kevin, I live on less than $10,000 a year and a half for years. And he says, you know, when I was on Wall Street, and he says, that's what I do. I says, yeah, I've lived on even less than that. He says, but look at the empowerment in our souls. Doesn't it just lift you up? And I says, yeah. It does. It's hard and it's frustrating and it's a struggle. But it's something that I think very few people could ever experience because they don't try. I think in the old days, you know, the Megan Rice's dad, so many of them, Dorothy Day, there were thousands of people. You know, the Harriet Beecher Stowe's, the Gimli girls, this is just like the 1830s. It's no different. As slavery, through the so-called evangelical movements, through the so-called religious movement, you know, Mormons, whatever, Mormons are just getting going, but they went down that road, that slavery was not evil, it's good. We feed them, we house them. I mean, how twisted. And 99% of the populace believe that. They do again. 99% of the population. I can prove it. When I did that video, I'm standing there drinking that blood in the cage with the Tiananmen squares. I thought people would eat that video up and just love it. I had more people non-subscribe to me when I put that video up in the history of this vlog. Because people don't want to know that they are the problem. They want to blame Congress. They want to blame the oligarchs. They want to blame the 1%. They want to blame everybody. You know, the Illuminati. Oh, I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too just right. You know, it's all crutches because it's about spirituality in an individual way. About, I'm not going to buy goods that exploit. I'm not going to buy goods that exploit slaves. I won't do it. 4:30, the 12th, Sugar House Park, Salt Lake City. It's going to be a very, very special time. I'll stay in this in a spiritual way. You know, and to the oppositional resistance nuclear movement, boy, do I intimidate you guys. Good, because you're war profiteers. I'm doing this for the right reasons. Just like so many of you are doing a lot of things. We have a small group and a small army that get this. I'll be back in New York City soon. I'll be in Washington, D.C. very soon. And we're going to keep fighting this. Stay tuned.
You got